The hits keep on coming for Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Recently, a video posted by the Ron DeSantis Fan Cams Twitter account, which was retweeted by a DeSantis campaign staffer, included Nazi symbolism. Take a look. So there's usually music in that, but likely copyrighted, so I couldn't actually listen to the have you listen to the audio. But the full video, of course, is still up online, and I'll give you a link to it if you really want to watch it in context. When you watch it in context, it's not really any better. Uh, so that Nazi symbol, well, it wasn't a swastika, but it was something called a Sonnenrad, a symbol co-opted by Nazis, which is often found in white supremacist literature and the manifestos of far-right shooters, mass shooters. Oh, great. Now it's part of a 2024 presidential campaign. Yeah. And look, that imagery is very specific. Not at all an accident, since again, this does happen to be used a lot in white supremacist, white nationalist literature. You would have to know white nationalist and white supremacist literature to understand that reference. And so, oops, seems very specific. Not at all an accident. It's not one of those situations where it's like, oops, how did that get in there? Oh no, whoopsie doodle.
Whoopsie.
Oh, I made an accidental Nazi reference. Oops. No, it's clearly not even a dog whistle. It's a bullhorn. That's it. Now, once people pointed out, hey, that's Nazi imagery you got there. The account deleted the video, and that's after reports that a campaign staffer who regularly engages with the account reshared the video. So this was a Ron DeSantis campaign staffer saying, "Oh yeah, oh, we like this, we like ye. Oh yes, share these dank memes. Oh yes, we love this video." But it was too late, of course, because once it's on the internet, it stays on the internet. Nothing ever really disappears. It lasts forever, and this just adds more damage to the already flagging DeSantis campaign. Now, that said, you might be asking, but yeah, but this is a fan account. Well, why is this hurting DeSantis himself? So cool, okay, so he's got some Nazi fans. For one, if your fans are Nazis, then if your appeal somehow reaches neo Nazis and they're like, yes, this is our guy. Well, that's problem number one. You must be doing something wrong. Uh, Again, if you consider appealing and reaching out to neo Nazis and getting them to be your fans wrong, then yes, it's wrong. I would consider that to be wrong. Most decent people would consider that to be wrong, but apparently, Ron DeSantis, fine until he gets caught. That plausible deniability. And now, secondly, according to a New York Times report on Sunday, you remember that weird homophobic video from earlier this month? It's both homophobic and weirdly homoerotic, where saying, "Oh, Donald Trump loves the LGBTQ community so much. Oh yes, look at how cozy they are. Yeah." And showing pictures of Ron DeSantis next to shirtless, oiled up men. Again, a bit homoerotic, but whatever. Now that video was actually planted by a campaign, by the campaign, the DeSantis campaign, to a fan account, to then share it, and then get a bunch of attention, get retweeted out or whatever, but still allows the DeSantis campaign to, do like plausible deniability. Oh, it was a fan put that together. And we're not actually homophobic. The fans put that together. We're just trying to protect the children. Yes, that's it. Um, but what it does is that what it did is it basically told homophobes, don't worry, Ron DeSantis is your guy. He's on your side. Homophobes, if you hate gay people, the LGBTQ community, Ron is your man. Okay, if you hate gay people, if you hate trans people, Ron DeSantis, he's your guy. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Now, knowing that, it wouldn't be a shocker if it comes out later on that that the campaign did the same thing again as a message to white supremacists and neo-Nazis and saying, Ron DeSantis, he's your man. And now, you know what though? There's a slight, a little bit of good in this, I think, and that, look, Ron DeSantis, his campaign continues to get into trouble doing, I mean, things like this, and every time it comes out, it makes Ron DeSantis even less likable to the general public and even to Republicans who might care about electability. I mean, remember, that was one of his big arguments. Oh, I'm more electable than Donald Trump. Even though we agree with pretty much everything, I'm more electable. I have success in Florida. Look at how wonderful Florida is doing. Everything's going great here. And we stopped the wokeness and we did all that. No, it turns out that most Americans don't want America to be Florida. There are Floridians that want Florida to be Florida. Well, good for them. But most Americans actually don't. And they also, of course, there's just a lot of Republican voters that still just prefer Donald Trump. According to the Financial Times, two of DeSantis' richest potential backers, the billionaires Ken Griffin and Nelson Peltz, are now rethinking their plans to support DeSantis because of his far-right positions, including the clampdown on teaching about gender issues and his newest abortion ban. And look, the recent midterms, remember when they ran all these anti-abortion, anti-trans, anti-gay candidates, and they got completely obliterated at a time where, honestly, Republicans, for a lot of voters, were looking pretty good. We're like, oh man, Biden not doing great on the economy, or the economy's not doing great under Biden. Inflation is really high and all this stuff. And okay, well, let's vote for Republicans and see if things get better. Not endorsing that view. I'm just saying this is how, there are some voters, many voters that think that way. Oh, if Republicans aren't working, let's try Democrats. Democrats aren't working, we'll try Republicans. Yes, those voters actually do exist. I know it's odd, but when you're in this, when you're in the news bubble, it's kind of shocking that there are people out there that don't pay really all that much attention to news. And so, they look at things in their own life, they look at the kitchen table issues, and they think, well, things haven't exactly gotten too much better for me. I haven't really noticed that much of a change. Maybe I'll try something else. Maybe I'll try Republicans. And, they don't necessarily know all the stuff, all the details. And understandably, because I think that a lot of people end up working too many hours or don't want to get involved in the toxicity of politics. But I'm getting off into a tangent here. But when they see things like the abortion bans and they see things like the wokeness, whatever, that's not something that they're worried about. That's not something that average people are thinking too much about. And it's because they have better issues. What I think about for the people that are focused on these issues of wokeness, I think that that's a special kind of privilege that certain people have. These people are so privileged to not have to worry about day-to-day living, so that they can focus on, oh, there's wokeness in my school or whatever, things that generally don't affect people's everyday lives and being able to put food on the table and pay the bills and put gas in your car and all that stuff. And so look, and that's the thing too, right? Republicans, the thing that DeSantis is most famous for is fighting the woke. And even some Republican voters know that that's not going to make their lives materially better. Hurting trans people is not going to make anybody's material, conditions better. It's not going to put food on the table. It's been in critical race theory. It's not going to help people get better jobs, better paying jobs. It's not going to help them afford health care or prescription drugs or child care. It doesn't even rank it high enough at all on the list of priorities for many voters. And so what Ron DeSantis is doing, and this ad is a great example of it, is catering to a very niche crowd of terminally online far-right lunatics. And the polls kind of reflect that. I mean, Ron DeSantis is still in second place, but he's really far away from Donald Trump. Donald Trump is Donkey Kong in the field. He is dominating everybody. And by the way, DeSantis might be in number two now, but Vivek Ramaswamy, he's catching up, man. Catching up to DeSantis and might actually, you know, overtake him for second place. So, and Ron DeSantis, his campaign puts out messages saying, don't worry, we're gonna revamp, we're gonna relaunch. Oh, will it be another Twitter launch? Or maybe they learn. Oh, I'm sorry, it's X now. X. Oh yeah, okay, right. They're retooling, but I don't think any retool, if they're going to continue to cater to these lunatics, um, it's not going to do anything. There's, its campaign is failing. It's failure to launch, and it's basically on fire on the platform, smoldering, not going anywhere. Maybe except into the trash bin of history.